We are in powerful times, and don't you forget it. The tables are turning. The bad guys don't win in the end. Think of it as a real-life Hollywood movie where the good guys actually get rewarded and the bad guys get thwarted. I don't want the bad guys to get punished, per se, because that's not my doing. Avenge and revenge is not mine. It's for a higher power. But I certainly would love the idea of it, that the bad guys being averted. So I'm in this wonderful place, and I'm going to share with you that I am compiling works and methods that have worked for me in my process of coming to terms with just the discovery that I am a child of a narcissistic parent. And it only came to my attention because of 3 relationships, the first 2 being marriages and the last one being a decade-long abusive relationship with the baddest daddy of them all that gave me the greatest amount of pleasure and the greatest amount of pain, that modeled perfectly the combination of both my mother and my father. And when my mother met him, they were sniffing butts. That's the thing about narcissists. They can tell who each other is. It's weird. Whew. So, whenever I go down that path, it puts me in a little bit of a dark place. So, my sharing with you is, I used to go out in order to meet a man, make myself available, always make the opportunity available. And then I did the online dating thing. So I cut the online dating thing off, but it was by having had the awful experience of online dating, of these men expecting sex before you actually create a bond. That's the culture on online dating, is sex and under 3 dates or 2 weeks. 3 dates or under 2 weeks. If you make a guy wait 2 months, he's really hooked. That's what I've heard from other degenerates out there. And I know this. If he's a whack job, 2 months is their endurance level. So it goes the other way as well. So I realized that it was a hellhole on online dating, and that I had no business being in there, and that it wasn't a reality that suited my experience of how I wanted to live my life. It sucked. And everyone who's had a positive experience is an anomaly. They're just broadcast far and wide for us all to find out about. They are the anomaly. If you were to see the stats on it, if online dating apps actually publish their statistics on how the ratio of satisfied matches, I bet you it's 1%. It's a hookup culture. Anyway, the rotten egg story. The rotten egg story is that a friend of mine, who I actually met on online dating, and then I saw him when I went to another platform, and he didn't know how to use it. But since he'd already given me his name and number before I said, listen, dude, I'm not going to do this. You seem like an interesting person, but, I would just want to get together with you and talk about 2020 and this because we were on the same page. I wanted to find out more about his mindset, because it's lonely when you're in your own mindset of not wanting to put this into your arm and not putting this over your face and thinking the whole thing is ridiculous. And so that drew me to him. So he's country boy. He's my friend. But he gave me these eggs, and I left them out at room temperature, like you're supposed to do, when they're like from fresh chickens. But he apparently doesn't gather them that often, and one had an actual chick in it, and I started smelling something, and so I put the basket of eggs outside to go work, and then come back to them, And when I brought them back in, one exploded and there was a dead black chick inside. And people go, it's not black, it's yellow. No, it's only yellow if it's the white variety. Commercial, like white rabbits, lab animals, mass produced. So I was at this guy's place, and there was a little baby chick that was running around after his mother. That was not yellow. It was black and white. So I saw this and I smelled it, and I had to open up this was in the dead of summer. I had to open up my front and back, that's all I have in my condo, and turn on the air conditioning and get everything cranking up, because that's how stinky it was. And I lost my taste for eggs. Well, guess what online dating did for me? I lost my taste for men. You guessed it. Cheers to that, motherfuckers. So, I'm in a new chapter. I used to do things in order to meet people, like I told you, like I'd go out or something. And then I switched that. And now I'm doing things just to have fun, to enjoy, to treat every single day like if it's my last, in a whole and healthy body, without being a person who manifests that reality. Like, to really be happy that I'm a human, I'm alive. And I lived to understand the grief and sadness of what really truly happened in my childhood and me, and also how men treat women and how I was treated. Oh, it's awful. Hurt people, okay? Bottom line. Hurt people. Okay, so in one of my videos, maybe in my synopsis, I'll link it in one of my comments. It was like, just kind of wrapping up the online dating, wrapping up my feelings about male toxicity online, etc., stuff like that. And I'm at this great pause, and I was saying, I have all this time and energy. I used to put so much energy into a sinking ship. I was the one keeping it alive. And now I can forgive myself for doing that. I can forgive myself for going back to an abusive man again and again and again and again and again. It's because I was raised by a pathologically narcissistic mother, and I was conditioned. And you know what you gotta do to have a life worth living, ladies? If you are in that boat, we have to reprogram our subconscious minds. We have to undo some damage. And we gotta do it in a way that's respectful of the life journey and paths of others. Don't have that born again syndrome where you want to preach to the world, even though I have a channel. Somebody could accuse me of that. And I would say, just don't listen. I'm talking, don't preach to the world that this is the only way. But this is my way. This is how I'm doing it. And I had to find my process. I had to find my way. So I'm sharing it with you because I've picked a little bit of this, a little bit of that from all over the place. I did the most, select pickings of this method, of this method, of this method. And I'm putting it together for my own system. And the achievement of which I'll be known by my fruits. That's all. whatever my endeavors are, with whatever I end up doing, with my system, if it truly functions well, I'll be known by its manifestations of what I actually do, not just what I say. And that certainly is one of the biggest tells for narcissists. And that's one of the mental mind F's they give you, is that they keep putting you on the defensive because defense is the best offense for them. So they put their offensive move to defend themselves from you is to put you on the defense. And they do that to you, and they undermine you, and they're constantly chipping away. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Whether it's a parent or a relationship, or Carl the Snarl, whose wife, ex, is dying of cancer. And when I said to him, so you're not going to go talk to her and give her some comfort at the end of her years? She's the wife that you had for 13 good ones and 9 bad ones, as he put it. I knew what he was. He was bad news. And I know why she's dying. Of course, I can't make any claims. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. But I'm an energy reader. That's why I'm motivated. I want people to heal. Feel what needs to be healed. Get real. We no longer have to conceal our hurt. And we can heal from it. And it's okay if you have a narcissist still in your life. It's okay if you're not going no contact. I still have my parents in my life. They're not dying because they receive so much energy off of their children. Psychically, they have done such a number on us. I have a very interesting book in me. And I'm sure many people do. However, it's only the people who have the ability to write who truly are able, I think, for me to face the truth of their desire for closure. I want closure. I don't want to keep fueling myself by the hurt. I'm ready to take the next step. So for me, that means finally finishing something. Finishing a project I started. Because now I have time. And that was how I started this. I have time now because I'm not putting it into looking for a relationship. I'm not putting it into an established toxic relationship. And I'm not putting it into going out to make myself available for relationship. Because the only relationship I need to have right now is the one not only with myself, but with my Creator. So that I align my spine with a divine to feel fine. I align my will with divine will. And I think that must be the point of all of this. Right? So more later, everybody. Much love to you on your journeys. Don't suffer for naught, but don't focus on the suffering, or it'll knot you up inside. But recognize that it's real. Because that's another thing that I realized is that when I was a child, I was not allowed to have emotions or complain. I was always shamed into any other emotion besides being like happy. So there's more there, and that's where we cross over into the William James material, and that's emotions.